gotta admit, that was somewhat of a mum grab the camera moment. But what is up there everyone, it's the guy on the Game Attack here, and today I wanted to do a video taking another look at Destiny 2. Because in the recent weeks I've actually started coming back and playing the game again. And there have been a lot of changes since I last did my review of the game, and since I also last played the game. And I wanted to go over it and sort of give my new refreshed opinions on what they've changed and what I like and dislike about it. Now one of the main things I would say that they've added is they've added completion to the game. They've actually given you an incentive to keep playing and keep playing the content because you've got these triumphs. Now what they are, they're small challenges, and once you complete them you get a triumph score. If you complete all of the triumphs in a category you get a seal. I don't actually know what these seals do at the moment. I'm guessing they're just a badge that you can show off to people. But it is something fun to do. It's a little challenge for you to go if you want to. Now, they aren't just for the Crucible. You've got them in the open world. You've got them in the events like strikes, raids, nightfalls, and etc. You've got these triumphs everywhere. You can do a lot of things, and you can do them in all different types of the content in the game. And I think that's good. I enjoy that. I found it quite fun, especially the Crucible ones, going through and just trying to complete them, see if I can actually do them. Because some of them are reasonably easy to complete, so it's something you can just hop on, do a few games and you'll eventually get it. Others are going to take a bit more planning, and it's kind of fun to have that option, instead of just playing it to get your engram and then buggering off. And actually, speaking of the Crucible, I really do find it fun now. One of the main things that's helped that is they've made big changes to the time to kill and the weapon slots. The time to kill is a lot faster, and way back loads of months ago they also made character movement faster. I didn't actually play the game when that happened, but it has led to the gameplay in the Crucible feeling a lot more fun. Now, I don't really know why the weapon slot changes have actually had such a dramatic effect, but it does make the Crucible more fun. I do find it way more enjoyable than I did before. It does feel like there's a reason to have a specific energy weapon now. Beforehand, it was just use your primary. If you run out of ammo, use your secondary, and then go for a power weapon. Now you can actually choose to make your energy weapon, or in fact your primary weapon, because you can actually have primary sniper rifles with special ammo. I actually did that once on a strike. I had a primary sniper rifle with special ammo, and then a secondary shotgun with special ammo, and as you can guess, I had no ammo through that entire mission. But anyway, you can now actually choose how you want to approach a Crucible map, and you can change your loadout depending on the map you're on. It's not just Nameless Midnight, Uriel's Gift, and whatever power weapon of your choice. There is actually some variety in the Crucible now, and I've generally just found the gameplay way more interesting. They've also got the Rumble game mode in there, which I find quite fun, although generally I'll go into the main Crucible because bounties quite often want you to generate orbs of light, and the bounties are in fact another thing that add a bit more content to the game. You've got a small bounty with pretty much all the vendors in the game. You just complete a small challenge and then you get the rewards of that bounty. Usually, depending on the vendor, it might be a token, it might be a material, and that will then help you either increase your reputation, or if it's a material you can then use it to infuse weapons. It's a little challenge that you can complete whilst you're doing the content. It's just another thing for you to do, and it does give you a reason to keep going back and playing the content, because you might want to complete the bounties, especially for Hawthorne, because the clan rewards have changed up quite a lot. If you as an individual want to get your clan engrams, you have to commit 5,000 clan XP by yourself that week. Now, previously, you basically just had to play the game and eventually you'd get it. Maybe sometimes you'd have to team up with one of your clanmates, but that would be it. You just have to play a few Crucible games and you'd get that clan XP. Now you actually have to complete clan bounties or team up with your clanmates and do activities. Now, I think you only need to complete 4 to 6 of these bounties to actually get your engram. I definitely find that a lot more engaging. It's not just play a bit, oh, and you've got a legendary engram. You actually have to try and complete these challenges, and they reset every day, so you've got plenty of time to do them in the week, but it does make it a little bit more tricky to get that engram, and I find that more interesting. It's actually something to work for. You're actually working for something. You're not just aimlessly playing and waiting for the engram to pop up on your screen, and I do personally like that. And the final change that I definitely have noticed in my gameplay is that Nightfall strikes have had the timers and original modifiers removed. Now, the original modifiers weren't necessarily much of a problem. Some of them could be very annoying, especially the ones on Savathun's song. If you ever watched my review, you know I hated that strike. I still don't like it, but I absolutely detested it as a Nightfall. But now instead they've just got equipment locked as the modifier, and instead of just having one Nightfall you can do per week, there's a choice of 4. I actually think that's quite a good idea, mostly because there are a lot of new people that have started coming into the game because it was free for a month, so it makes sense to have a couple of them that are base game and then 1 or 2 that are DLC strikes, and it means that everyone can have a go at it, and they're different power ratings depending on which part of the content they're from. and I like this. The fact that you don't have to worry about getting in a certain amount of time is a big improvement for me. I remember that when I was playing before, I almost felt stressed trying to get through Nightfall because I wanted that powerful engram, and it was a real pain when you came up with teammates that just couldn't get through it. Now you can be chilled out. It might take you 3 times to beat the boss fight if you don't know it, but you don't have to worry. It's a lot more relaxing to play, and I find it way more enjoyable. Now, before any of you start to question whether there's been some exchange of sexual favours anywhere, I will have to address some of the elephants in the room. The main one is that I really think that if you were already maximum light on the base game, if your characters were already 305 power level, the changes made to the game, whilst they make it fun, I don't think they're going to be enough to actually keep people playing. You'd want to buy the extra content to actually enjoy the game more. That's what I personally have done. I've decided to buy the first 2 expansions on a cheaper price because I actually found myself quite enjoying playing the game again. But I don't think that the content added is enough for someone who doesn't want to splash out and pay for the DLC. And I completely respect that. It shouldn't cost people 50 to 60 quid to fix a game and actually make it what they thought it was going to be originally. That isn't right. And that's the other thing I didn't like, is the fact that they made it so that if you want to actually play Forsaken, which is the big expansion that they've been hyping up and showing us all the great changes they've made for it, you have to pay for these 2 expansions, which not only released to pretty meh reviews from fans and critics alike, but also you aren't going to be able to actually experience a lot of the end game and best content from these expansions because other players have already moved on. The players that have already beat it have moved on, and they aren't going to want to help you through it. And so you're paying for content that you aren't actually really getting because you're going to struggle to play it. You might be able to get an odd game using LFG or an external website, but you're very rarely going to get the chance to play it. I haven't as yet been able to try the raid on Curse of Osiris, and I would like to do that. I'd like to get the challenges for completing that, but I'm not going to be able to, because all the players that have stuck with the game have already moved on and they have no incentive to play it. People that want to play the game and want to play Forsaken want to play that because people are giving it really good reviews. People want to get to that bit of content, but making them pay for the content that fans were like, nah, this really hasn't done anything great to the game. It adds a few bits that are interesting, but overall wasn't that fantastic. It really does kind of suck, and ultimately that is why I haven't immediately bought Forsaken. I decided to get the 2 expansions as a sort of testing the waters. Do I actually have the time and interest to keep playing this game to eventually get Forsaken? Or am I just going to play these 2 and then go off to other games? If they had made those 2 free, I would have already bought Forsaken by now. But unfortunately they made that choice, which I think is personally really anti-consumer. It is a bit of a bummer, and I'm not keen on that practice. So credit where credit's due, the game is a lot more fun to play now than it was. I actually can enjoy playing this game on a day-to-day basis. However, I really feel they missed a trick with the pricing of all the expansions. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have certain opinions or questions about the game now, because you might be interested in going back to it or actually picking it up, then feel free to leave those in the comments down below. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been the guy from the Gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.